Hi, welcome back. Well, the stock on our radar is Vodafone Idea. Yesterday, we told you that the Indus Towers board met earlier this week and some of its directors have flagged concerns over mounting dues from Vodafone Idea. How will VI shareholders be impacted by this move? We have market expert Prakash Diwan joining in to discuss more. Prakash, good morning. Thanks a lot for joining us. Well, that's the first question, right? What does this warning from Indus Towers to we spell? What does it really mean?
Good morning, Sonal. So, essentially, I think this is almost like sounding a death knell to the company. The company is already struggling. We've not seen any kind of a respite in terms of the capitalization, which has been talked about or anticipated for almost 1.5 years now. And in the context of the 5G rollout, which is going to be capital intensive, I really don't understand how this is going to happen. There is a very clear diffidence from the promoters of the company to put in more capital, and if that doesn't happen, it's just going to be difficult for the company to be able to run smoothly and play that role of a third respectable incumbent in this telecom race. So it's definitely an uphill task. It's difficult for them to justify not paying these kind of dues to a company that itself is in a very, very aggressive capex and growth phase. So I think it's kind of difficult times for not only Vodafone but for the shareholders. They need to be a bit watchful given the kind of grave concerns that are impacting the business, the running of the business itself at this point in time. So it's not about shareholder value. It's about survival at this point in time that people need to be worried about.
So what does this mean in terms of an impact on their operations if no solution is found by November? I mean, do customers need to worry along with shareholders as well?
Oh, absolutely, Mangalam. I can tell you the kind of issues that customers have been facing, and personally I've experienced the kind of wrong international roaming charges that they levy, the kind of disputes that people keep on trying to address. The grievances are more related to billings, which have never been the case in all these years. It's a desperation that's kind of coming to show that the company is finding it difficult to manage its day-to-day business. The cash flows are getting so stressed out. So November is almost like around the corner, and if they are not able to resolve this, and if Indus decides to pull the plug, which at some point they will have to for their own business exigencies, it's going to be a very tricky situation. Except for a bailout, I don't see any other way out, and you really can't buy into something just hoping for a bailout. Bailout is the last thing that you could anticipate. So that hope trade is getting a bit stretched for shareholders and for consumers. Probably, you'll have to start looking at what MNP offers you at this point in time.
Okay, so Vodafone Idea has been unable to raise funds. What if it doesn't fructify? Like that continues to be the biggest issue even for the shareholders.
So, I don't think that is anything new. I mean, that was something which was expected. We also heard about, some debt restructuring where the government would kind of convert debt into equity. That's not happened. I don't know whether it's an issue related to pricing levels or, some sort of an understanding of timelines. But if they were to be able to raise money and if it's not too enough, it's going to be, too little, too late. So that's going to kind of push the can down the road, but it's not going to solve the problems. You just imagine the situation next year when 5G rollout is kind of full steam ahead with the other two players. Can Vodafone survive as the third respectable player of sorts with only 4G being offered? Which works like 2G for that matter, actually. So it's a very difficult situation from a business experience perspective rather than anything else. So I think the capital raise is overdue, and I hope it happens for the sake of the industry and sake of the consumers. But it seems very difficult at this point in time. Yeah.
All right, Prakash, thank you very much for joining us. Quick perspective there on an important subject. Thank you indeed.